They're saying, don't think it. Don't say it. Don't say it, don't think 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 it. Don't say it.
Hey Frank, how's it going? What are you doing? Oh, just watching The Bye Bye Man. It's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen in my life. Are you kidding? Oh, come on, man. The Bye Bye Man is great. Why do you hate everything? No, Frank. I don't hate everything. There are critics who hate everything, and I'm not one of them. Name one scary scene from The Bye Bye Man. One scene that's actually scary, and I'll tell you why it isn't scary. The train scene? That scene was terrifying. Oh, that scene! You mean the scene where the goth chick tells Dane DeHaan that the Bye Bye Man can make delusions, and then she runs right in front of a train even though it was obvious that that was a delusion because the guy was telling her that it was in her head as she ran up to it? That scene? Or how about the beginning scene with that one shot where the house is super overexposed and the acting's terrible and there's this fake CGI blood that looks fake as hell and everything in that scene looks incredibly bad? Or the scene where he takes the drawer with the writing of the Bye Bye Man on it and he throws it into the woods, like this tiny little patch of woods, instead of, you know, burning it so nobody else finds and says the name? That scene? Was that scene scary to you? Or how about that great scene where he goes to the library with Miss Watkins instead of, you know, researching on his laptop? I mean, it's 2017. Nobody goes to the library anymore to research stuff, especially if it's about the Bye Bye Man. I mean, that doesn't happen. Or, okay, it's got some problems. But what movie doesn't have problems? The Empire Strikes Back? Okay, you have a point, but whatever. Is there any horror movie that you actually love? Horror films that I like, there's plenty. There's The Shining, there's Psycho, there's Alien, there's Jaws. No, I mean ones that came out this decade. Ones that, like, I know. Ones that came out recently. Okay, that's easy too. The Conjuring, Conjuring 2, Ouija Origin of Evil. Did you like any from this year? This year? Get Out was really good. That was a fantastic horror movie. Come on. What makes that any better than The Bye Bye Man? So many things. Like, so many. Let me tell you. So, Get Out was actually a really great movie. It was directed by Jordan Peele, who was mostly known for comedy before, and he just did a bunch of comedy stuff. And then he made a horror movie. He actually directed his first movie, and it turned out to be this, and I think it's one of the best horror movies of the entire decade. I think this movie is up with some of the best horror movies we've seen in recent years, because this movie is so original. It's so different. The characters are really good. It actually deals with racism in a way that was really well handled, because they had something really cool where the characters that the black character was hanging out with, the white people, they all kind of envied blacks because of their benefits against white people. It was a really different take on racism, and it was really surprising. The entire movie was surprising. The scares were mostly really good. A lot of it is really bizarre. It's slow burn, and then it leads up to something that happens towards the end, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is why all these things happen. Towards the beginning, there are a lot of things that you're gonna be like, what is that? What is this? It's a movie that you have to be patient for. It's a movie where not anything is answered to you right away. A lot of things are kept secret, and then once the end comes where everything is revealed, it really pays off. There's tons of surprises. It's incredibly original, which is the thing I really loved about Get Out. This movie doesn't do any of the normal horror cliches. No horror cliches are here as far as I could think of. This movie does so many original things, and it has really good characters too, and a lot of really well done performances. Get Out is one of the best movies of the year. The only problem that I'd say I'd have with it is that some of the scares aren't 100% perfect. A few of them are a little bit predictable and not as good as some of the other scares. But other than that, Get Out is a fantastic horror movie, and it's one of my favorites of the decade. In my unpopular opinion, I actually like Get Out slightly more than both Conjuring movies, which is saying a lot because both Conjuring movies are both very good horror films. I would give Get Out an A. Okay, I guess I can respect your opinion. Did you see Wish Upon, though? That was a really good one. That one was really good. So even though Get Out was fantastic and Annabelle Creation was a good horror movie, we've also had some terrible horror movies this year, and this is the third terrible horror movie that I've seen this entire year. There's 3 different horror movies, Bye Bye Man, Rings, and then this, that are some of the worst horror movies I've ever seen, really. Wish Upon, I don't think is quite as bad as Bye Bye Man or Rings, but it is an extremely bad movie. This centers around an extremely unlikable character that she gets this wish box and she's like wishing all these things to benefit herself, even though she could have wished things that would have benefit the rest of humankind, like things that would have been like world peace or, you know, things that actually would benefit humanity. That's what she should have wished for, but instead she wished for stuff like, oh, I want to be the most popular girl, I want to be the person that everyone loves in high school, I want to get together with my crush. The character is so unlikable, and that's one of the huge problems with this movie, is that how unlikable she is. And then the movie tries to get you to care about her and her friends, even though they're all terrible people that are kind of really, really selfish. I don't even know why I said kind of, because kind of doesn't apply. They are extremely selfish. And all of the death scenes, which were supposed to be scary and dark, were funny. Because every time she makes a wish with this wish box, people die. Blood has to be spilled, and it takes her forever to realize that, even though it's very clear that every time she makes a wish, somebody dies. And even the death scenes are funny. They're so bad that they're hilarious, and they actually made me laugh. The way that they have people die in this movie, like they could have done something dark, but they made it like really stupid, like a person getting her hair stuck inside of a sink. It was like, why is that a way that you kill somebody off in this movie? Every character is unlikable. There's not a single likable character in this movie, especially not the lead character, who's not only an extremely unlikable, selfish person, but she's also extremely bad at acting, and all the acting is terrible. Even Barb from Stranger Things is in this movie, because lately with Stranger Things, they keep taking actors from Stranger Things and putting them into horror movies. Like we had Jonathan Byers, one of my favorite characters in Stranger Things. The actor who played him was in the terrible movie Shut In. Every character is extremely unlikable, and they're all so stupid because it takes them so long to realize obvious things throughout this movie. Nothing is scary. Everything comes off as funny and ridiculous and stupid, and it's just like, it's one of those movies that is so bad that it's hilarious. But really, this movie shouldn't have been made. It was atrocious. I don't know why it was made. This is yet another horror movie this year that I can give an F to. Oh, I gotcha. I see what makes a good horror movie now. So like Rings. Rings would be a really good horror movie, right?
Dreadful. No, really dreadful. And I'm saying that to be kind.
I don't believe you.
I'm telling you.
I don't believe you.
I'm telling you.
Well.